Our group presentation is based on Lyon's restaurant. The outline of the presentation highlights as follows. Firstly, I will collate and prioritize the strategic issues at Lyon's restaurant. Secondly, Rosina will develop the strategic proposals. Thirdly, Irfan will highlight the impact of the proposals on the operation of the organization. Pooja will evaluate the solution using races. And finally, I will recommend alliances and partnerships. So the strategic issues at Lyon's. The strategic issues underlined within the fragments of Lyon's restaurant is emphasized through shoestring marketing. As a way of maximizing investments through creativity and innovation, Lyon lacks capturing the modern consumer and younger target market. It neglects the appeal of interior and exterior factors of the restaurant and the ability to attract the majority of customers, as its design may have been flourishing when it first started in 2004, yet the present may beg to differ. It focuses on the social aspect in terms of ethics, however its overall aesthetics is not powerfully captivating and thus is critiqued as old-fashioned and outdated. It incorporates the influencer strategy using John Wicks, who is an Instagram fitness and nutrition vlogger, for mutual exposure and beneficial publicity. They also targeted cyclists with specifically designed flyers that were attached to the handlebars of parked bikes. However, the company overall has not become as known and relevant as its competitors, such as Five Guys, as well as the marketing strategies were temporary and not a long-term solution for the company. Lyon claims that their food is made freshly and not refrigerated or prepared. However, when gathering online reviews, customers believe that their portion sizes were terrible and their prices were too high. Thus, a management strategy would be needed to be set into place to revisit the business structure and to make sure that things are up to par. From the production of food to when it is delivered, and for customers to avoid further negative reviews. Thirdly, the co-founder and chef lack specific business and organizational skills. For example, they had little experience in the restaurant trade and focused on the production of good food. Therefore, they aim to find an equilibrium between entrepreneurship and what works well in the industry. For example, dealing with waste, disciplines around ordering, and day-to-day training. Fourthly, the geographical immobility of natural resources and importation from various countries pose issues of transferability. For example, chorizo, which is sourced from Spain. They believe that improvements can be made regarding the welfare of chicken, which was announced by 2026. However, the European Chicken Commitment believe that the European Chicken Commitment is a part of the EU, which poses an issue and political ambiguity for Brexit. Therefore, their values may have to be changed and revised. This leads on to the priorities faced within Lyon's restaurant, as marketing is ultimately a significant issue and a priority that Lyon faces as a business. If it is not marketed or presented correctly, it will lose customers before they have stepped into the door. Therefore, we believe that instead of investing revenue made into global expansion, Lyon needs to reevaluate where they invest financially and update and modernize their current 64 restaurants by marketing it in a way that it becomes known and desired globally. Management training is also a necessity and important, as well as much as marketing, and something which needs to be considered, as if the internal infrastructure is not up to standard and running smoothly, it will affect the output of the delivery of the food. Customers have presented bad reviews online, criticizing various things from the taste to the poor treatment of staff and employees. Thus, management is something that also needs to be taken into consideration and invested in, despite of it being a lengthy process. It will benefit the company in the long run. Thirdly, this links to the organization and business skills that Lyon lacks. Fourthly, geographical immobility is an issue. However, not as important as the previous issues discussed, as most of the food is sourced locally, therefore not a significant concern. Thus, despite Lyon and all fast food restaurants alike aim to generate the most amount of revenue/profits, each strategic and operational issue is interlinked and are as important as each other. However, we believe management and marketing are the most significant, as poor marketing will lead to the business lacking the ability to maintain with technological and social change of modernity. Management is also necessary because before a company can expand globally, it needs to perfect and fix any issues it currently has to prevent any restaurants being shut down or below standard. Rosina will explain the strategic proposals as follows.